All right, welcome back to CVM At Sunrise. We're always concentrating on getting our kids back to school, and that back to school period is usually around 1 week. But what happens after the preparation period has ended? Well, we welcome Dr. Carla Hilton this morning to tell us how it is that we can continuously be prepared throughout the rest of the year. Welcome to CVM At Sunrise.
Thank you so much.
Morning, Dr. Hilton. Morning.
Morning.
The first question I want to ask, are you a medical doctor?
No, I am not. I have a PhD in biotechnology.
Right, and I'm saying, I was saying off here, I must confess that somebody with a doctorate in biotechnology is going to tell us about school and kids. What's the link?
Well, I've always been involved in education. So even though I have a PhD in biotechnology, I've been in the teaching industry for maybe about 17 years.
Great, oh great.
So I'm
And she's
integrally
also
involved with
certified in that
students.
area.
All right. So now we
Yes.
understand the link.
Yeah.
All right. School recently opened. What should parents be doing now to ensure that, you know, the hard money that they spend throughout the summer, that they're getting value for it and that their kids will, you know, will continue to strive?
Okay. Well, first of all, parents need to decide what success really means. You know, in my view, success is not all about just getting straight A's. It's about having your child achieve according to their fullest potential, you know, doing the best that they can. And you as a parent are supposed to be finding other ways to assist your child. It's not just about getting those textbooks and notebooks and writing implements. These are important, but there are other ways in which you as a parent can assist your child. So for example, you need to, at home, first of all, I believe success begins at home, right? So parents need to establish routine and structure at home. You need to make sure your child has a schedule which includes both time for play as well as for study. It cannot just be all about studying.
All work, no play,
No,
makes Jack a dull boy.
definitely, I definitely agree with that, right? Also, parents need to try to help their kids to get organized. So, you know, the usual special folders for each subject, especially for high school students that have so many different subjects. You want to also make sure they have a special book that they can record assignments and due dates, right? Also, you know, this is sometimes neglected, but the parents need to ensure that students are getting adequate sleep. Depending on the age, and primarily teenagers require at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, even on weekends. I personally do not support the late night studying. I feel it is counterproductive. I feel that consistency is actually the key to success. You know, students should have already been reviewing their notebooks, their textbook from day one. And if they do this consistently, they will see an increase in their academic performance.
Okay.
And how it is that parents are able to properly monitor their children's progress?
Okay, again, let's not try to wait on the first report card. We want to be monitoring from day one. We need to ask. Communication is so important, you know. You need to be communicating with your child, finding out what's happening, you know, what's the relationship like with the teacher, is everything going okay? You know, also you can check the notebooks, check the tests. You know, that's the obvious one, looking at the test grades, looking at homework and classwork, seeing how they're doing. You should also, though, be looking for signs that they might be struggling at school, or, you know,
What are those signs?
sometimes you might have students complaining all of a sudden now that they're having a lot of stomach aches. They're reluctant to go to school. So, you know, they might be complaining stomach aches, headaches more often than usual, and this usually signals that something could be wrong. So, you know, you need to investigate. And, you know, sometimes behavioral problems might show up at school. This is also a cause for concern.
One of the things that I found out when I was going to high school, that there are things that you just can't tell your parents about. You fall in love for the first time, some girl break your heart, you're having a beef with some member of the team you play for. And these are things that your parents, you just can't talk to your parents about these things.
That is true. But
How do you as a parent, while at the same time monitor your child, but also give him space to discuss things that he'd prefer not to discuss with you?
well, you see,
it's a very tricky balance, isn't
it's
it?
very tricky, and it all begins with the type of relationship you have with your child, you know, and this begins from an early age, really. So, I mean, they're not going to tell you everything, no matter what, just even out of respect.
Right,
They might not
right.
want to discuss, as you said, relationships. But you still just have to talk. You know, you just talk, you know, you just talk about things, you know, even if they're not telling you, say, you know, I've fallen in love or anything. You talk about it.
Let them feel
but,
like they can come to you.
Right, right.
Here's the other one I want to ask. Usually around third, fourth form in most high schools is when students start to choose their particular, is it vocational area? But the subjects that you want to specialize in. How much of a role should parents play in that? As student want to do the sciences or the arts or whatever. How much should the parents play a role in helping the child to select those subject areas?
Well, okay, you don't want to be choosing the subjects for your child, but by the time you reach fourth form, you should have an idea what they like. You understand? And discussions on, because in a way, you're choosing a career path.
Right,
it's not that you're choosing a career, but you're gearing them towards a special area. It's always good to mix the subjects though, but you know, in Jamaica, we do have to sort of choose sciences over arts, etc. You know, whichever it is. But communication, you have to talk to your child, find out what they like, find out what they dislike. How well are they doing in that particular subject from third form? And that gives you an idea. Some children know what they want to do, and some children are very undecided. And sometimes you as a parent may have to help them a little because it's a decision they have to make.
Yes.
I remember in high school, in Camperdown especially, what they do is that once they realize you're on a certain path, they'll separate you and put you in the science-based class. How important would you say it is to, you know, try to have that communication between a teacher and a parent with regards to the strong areas that your child actually is in?
Well, if it is, so are you saying that if they put them in a science group, but they really wanted to do arts? Well, I feel that the schools should be open to you communicating, talking to them about things like that, because if they really want to do arts and they've been placed in a science
Just because
group,
academics, though.
Well, if they're not doing so well in the subject, you see, we probably would have to try working on that before a decision is made, because the teachers are going to assess them based on test results. So if the test results is not good in this particular subject, they may not want to put them in it. So you might have to try to take remedial action before such a decision is being made.
Here, I'm going to ask how do people contact you, but here was one of the problems that I had as a teenager. In third form, there are 12, 14 subjects or whatever I was doing at the time. And I knew from then that some of these subjects I would not be doing in fourth or fifth form. And I used to never pay too much attention to those. Because I was very set early on that these 7 or 8 was what I would be concentrating on. Not the 11 or 12 or 14 that we started in first form with. And my parents had a very hard time convincing me to do well in those subjects that I know I wouldn't be taking up in fourth or fifth form. Very quickly, how do parents deal with that dilemma if their child says to them, "Mommy, I don't need to do bio nor physics nor chemistry.
That's not what I want to do in life."
Fourth form, me not doing those. What do you tell them?
Well, you have to sit with them and explain that, you know, it's a matter of an average grade as well. So these subjects that you don't like, they are counting towards your overall performance, and they will serve you to some extent later on in life. You do need, if you don't want to do biology, you still need to know about your body, right? Whether or not you're going into arts or whatever it is, you still need to know.
My answer to that was I know enough about first form biology.
I don't need to know enough. But if it's a case where my child is struggling, what are some of the things that I can do to improve their performance?
Okay, well, you know, you need to ask what exactly is going on. Is it that the child is not understanding what is being taught? Is the teacher going too fast? They're not keeping up? Is it that the child just feels demotivated? Or could something else be going on, like bullying or some other form of abuse?
Or falling in love.
Or falling in love, right? So you need to investigate. So if it is that it's a problem with the subject, then perhaps it's time to consider a private tutor, you know, and you need to select a small after-school program that would address your child's particular needs. Right? If the child is demotivated, then perhaps you need to sit down with the child and try to formulate some goals. You know, these goals should be within your child's grasp. You don't want them too far, you know, so that they can arrive at these goals fairly easily. You know, sit down with them, formulate a workable plan. And what you will find happening is that when your child achieves these small goals, this will build his or her confidence level, and they will be inspired to study hard and, you know, continue the
All right, and if parents who want to learn more, of course, how it is that you are able to assist them in achieving this with their
How do
child?
they contact you?
They can visit my website, khilton.com, or they can email me at biochemtutor100@gmail.com, or call 564-1347.
All right, thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Doc.
Dr.
Thank
Hilton.
you.
All right, so when we come back, we have more CVM at Sunrise, so don't go anywhere.